All right, let's jump right in because something huge just leaked out of OpenAI, and it suggests they're building a whole new kind of AI. We're not talking about just another chatbot that gives you quick answers. This is about an AI that might actually be able to think. One that plans, strategizes, and solves problems step by step, a lot like a human expert would. And that brings up this really fascinating question. Forget about getting an answer in half a second. What would actually happen if an AI could just pause? If it could deliberately slow down, chew on a problem, and truly think it through before giving you a response. Well, this is the heart of the leak, a rumored new model called GPT-5.1 Thinking Mode. The whole idea is that it's designed for deep reasoning. It would take its time to map out an approach to a tough problem instead of just spitting out the first thing that sounds right. The key difference here isn't about being faster, it's about being smarter, being more deliberate. Now, look, this isn't just some random internet rumor. This is all based on a trail of digital breadcrumbs that the AI community has been piecing together for a little while now. So let's follow that trail and see exactly where it leads. Okay, so here's how this all went down. It kicked off on November 7th, 2025, when what looks like real internal OpenAI code got leaked. And buried in that code was this bombshell reference, GPT-5.1 Thinking. Wild, right? Then, just a little while later, this super mysterious, incredibly powerful model called Polaris Alpha pops up on a platform called OpenRouter, and then it just vanishes. This totally fits OpenAI's MO of running secret tests, which has led a lot of people to believe that Polaris Alpha was our first sneak peek of this thinking model out in the wild. So what's the big deal here? What makes this rumored model so special? I mean, how exactly would an AI think any differently than the chatbots we're all using every single day? It seems like it's about building a fundamentally different kind of intelligence from the ground up. It really comes down to a fundamental trade-off. You know how current chatbots are lightning fast? Well, that speed is their biggest strength and their biggest weakness, because it leads to rushed, sometimes just plain wrong answers. This rumored thinking AI would flip that completely on its head. It would be designed to be slow, to be deliberate, maybe taking 10, 20, even 30 seconds to break a problem down, reason through all the steps, and optimize for being right instead of being fast. And get this, it doesn't seem to be a single one-size-fits-all kind of thing. The leaks actually suggest a whole product lineup. You'd have your standard GPT 5.1, your fast, everyday chatbot. Then you'd have this special thinking mode for the really tricky stuff that needs deep reasoning. And on top of that, a pro version with all the bells and whistles and maximum power, probably for big companies and serious research. And here's what might be the cleverest part of this whole idea. You wouldn't even have to choose which mode to use. The rumor is the system would have an automatic router. So you give it a simple question, it gives you a fast answer. But if you throw a really gnarly, complex problem at it, it would recognize the challenge and automatically switch itself into thinking mode. I mean, that's a huge step towards a truly adaptive intelligence. Okay, so an AI that slows down to think? It sounds interesting, sure, but why is this such a big deal? What are the real-world implications here if this technology turns out to be legit? Well, for starters, it could directly fix the biggest, most annoying flaws in today's AIs. A system that actually thinks step by step is way less likely to hallucinate or just make stuff up. This could lead to a massive improvement in really complex areas like math and coding and scientific analysis. All the fields where being accurate isn't just nice, it's everything. And this is where we go from just fixing problems to unlocking things that feel like science fiction. Imagine an AI that doesn't just check your code, but writes massive, complex, bug-free programs from scratch. Or an AI that could help design new computer chips, solve brand new research problems, or even run entire scientific experiments all by itself. This quote from one of the analyses really just hits the nail on the head. If an AI can do all of that, you're not just chatting with a bot anymore. You are collaborating with a digital researcher, a tool that doesn't just find information that already exists, but actually helps create new knowledge. Okay. It is super easy to get carried away with the hype. So let's all take a deep breath and pump the brakes for a second. We need to be really clear about what we actually know versus what's still just speculation. It's crucial to separate fact from theory here. So here's what we can count as hard evidence. The leaked code screenshots? Experts say they look authentic. That mysterious Polaris Alpha model? It definitely appeared on OpenRouter, and we know for a fact that the name GPT-5.1 Thinking exists in some of OpenAI's backend code. These are the facts on the ground. But, and this is a really, really big but, OpenAI has not said a single word about this. They haven't confirmed anything. All the cool features we've been talking about, like that automatic router, that's all based on interpreting these leaks. We have no official benchmarks, no clue how powerful it really is, and absolutely no release date. This is a credible leak for sure, but it is not an official product, at least not yet. So that leaves us with one final massive question. Forget the hype, forget the model names for just a second. If an AI can genuinely learn to slow down, to think, to plan its own work, and this is the big one, correct its own mistakes, are we standing right on the edge of a brand new age of machine intelligence? An age that moves way beyond the simple chatbots we have today? What do you think?